yeah, the problem we discussed was the time is too short to do anything specific. So what I try to elaborate in this introductory session is basically how startups can understand why and how they can start with digital marketing, and why do they need to start. So the fundamental problems with understanding why marketing is needed, because that has been my primary challenge in Pakistan, working with Pakistani companies and startups, that okay, why do we need marketing? So I totally understand some people are not from the marketing background, and in terms of digital marketing, it's very important to understand your startup, the whole functions of the startup, and then why marketing is important and how does it fit within the whole startup ecosystem and everything. So for that, I try to do a business map. Uh, so this is why I ask them a lot of questions. So people who have already heard me know what I do in the session, and I'm going to kind of do the similar sort of session here as well. Okay. So Zirtaj, I will definitely, work on the strategy part. The strategy is basically totally dependent on your product, your business, your target audience. It's all the strategy. It's part of your strategy actually. तो strategy कोई अलग document नहीं है. It's kind of an ever evolving, uh, I would say, the idea of how you want to reach to your customer. So I disagree with the idea कि एक strategy document बना दें. मुझे कोई जब कहता है strategy बनानी है, तो it's not like कि ये कोई document है जो मैं आपको लिख के कोई नुस्खा या कोई formula मैं आपको लिख के दे दूं कि ये apply कर लें. It's like कि you keep testing, you keep applying things, you keep rejecting, you keep implementing the ideas that work for you, and then you keep growing. So जितने भी models हैं सबके again मतलब उसके against different tools available हैं. So if you go for social media, there are different tools for social media. If you go for SEO, there are different tools for SEO. So I'm not sure कि कोई एक ऐसा एक है tool जो मैं आपको बताऊं, but I would recommend starting with CRM tools. तो कोई ना कोई CRM tool आप जरूर adopt करें. If you want to go for a free one, HubSpot से start कर लें. उसमें काफी आपको, क्योंकि your email is your asset. तो अपने जो contacts हैं, जो CRMs हैं, जो deals हैं, उसको एक जगह map करना शुरू करें, and you start with collecting the data and then grow up on, grow that database into something that you can use and reuse again and again. So that is one major tool I think which would miss usually. So strategy का तो कोई tool नहीं है, मतलब
unfortunately.
Strategy is you, right? So that if you want to unmute up, you can unmute and ask your question properly if you think you need to speak it up, because जो आप लिख रही हैं उसमें तो there is no tool for strategy as in a way. आप Google में research कर लें कि strategy कैसे बनती है, मतलब you can have videos and you can have tutorials or something. वहाँ पर कोई canvas मिल जाएगा आपको, कोई document template मिल जाएगा आपको, but there is no tool that devises a strategy for you. You have to do it yourself. Strategy is the only thing that you have to do. Otherwise, so machine learning or artificial intelligence, they're all there. So I hope I have answered your question. But if you still think I'm not understanding well, you can unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Yeah. So I mean, by tool or by strategy, I mean the tips and tricks that you normally. So obviously, I understand the importance of going with a strategy, failing at it, and then doing it, so you know what works for your business. But considering that startups don't always have a lot of funds to dedicate in each area, so a lot of these workshops that I've attended, I come across things that yes, you need to have a financial person on board. Yes, you need to have marketing and advertisement. You need to have branding. Everything is there. But the hard fact is that startups don't always have a lot of funds.
Right.
So with that in mind, what are the tools that are available? And if I want to kickstart like today, what are the things that I need on my website? It's a very ugly looking website right now, apart from the homepage. But then I learned in
Okay.
one of the sessions that, you know, if your first website or your MVP doesn't embarrass you, it means you're late in the market already.
Right.
So that was a very good advice. So yeah, so
Okay.
in that regard, something to jumpstart, to kickstart on it, right? That is what I mean.
Okay. So tools. Uh, I understand your point, and I understand your pain as well. So the thing is that the challenge with startup is basically they want to do everything themselves, and probably that is where sometimes they miss the point that you don't have to do everything yourself, right? So you need to have some professionals on board to do it right for you. And I totally understand that you're going the lean model way, and you want to grow gradually. You have you have limited funds, and you don't want to do everything. But then in that scenario, I cannot suggest that okay, forget an expert and do it yourself. I can suggest like you find a way to have a barter, maybe you give and take. You do a give and take with someone, and have someone on board. But still, you need to have someone to do it for you if you don't know how to do it yourself, right? So that is one tip for you. Otherwise, tools have a specific agenda. If you go for a specific tool, they do certain jobs for you. If you don't understand what job that tool is doing, what information that tool is producing, or how to use that data, then it's again a useless tool for you. Because again, if you don't understand how to interpret the data, or how to interpret or how to manage a tool, it's useless for you. So I'm not sure that there's something for a strategy part, but of course, as I said, go for a CRM tool. There are plenty of free CRM tools. You can start with HubSpot. Go for Google Webmaster Tools. That is for website SEO. Google tells you how to do it. There's a new tool coming up, HRS Webmaster Tool. It gives you a bit more data than Google's Webmaster Tools. So this is good for your website. गूगल में कहाँ आप रैंक कर रहे हैं, किस कीवर्ड पे रैंक कर रहे हैं, कितनी ट्रैफिक गूगल के सर्च इंजन से आपके पास आ रही है. स्टार्ट विद गूगल एनालिटिक्स, क्या वो आपकी वेबसाइट पे डेफिनेटली होना चाहिए. ठीक है, सो ये वो टूल्स हैं जो एसेंशियल हैं. एंड स्टार्ट विद गूगल फेसबुक पिक्सल एक्चुअली. So if you want to start advertisement somewhere down the line, you need to start tracking the behaviors of your audience on your website. So pixel ka na hona means when you start from zero. So if you start today, you at least have pixel on your website. So इससे होगा कि when you're ready to advertise, you have certain data that you can uh, utilize later on. So lookalike audience, custom audience, so सारी चीजें फिर आपके पास data ही नहीं होगा तो आप कैसे करेंगे? So अभी जो ads चलते हैं, normally people just scratch the surface of an iceberg, right? Because it's the tip of an iceberg in a way कि they just go for the profiles. ठीक है, यंग होंगे, मतलब 18 से 25 के बीच में हो, उसको ये शौक होगा, वो शौक होगा, लाहौर में रहता होगा. That's not how you do it anymore, because the advertisement is way beyond interest और वो जो machine learning को आपने utilize करना है. So again, there are different tools for different goals. You need to specify a goal first, and then you need to find a tool for that. And frankly speaking, you go on Google and write it on Google, you'll get plenty more suggestions than what I'm saying to you right now. So, but in any case, you can reach out to me always. I've probably given my email address previously. So if you have that, you can, contact me for sure. I would help as much as possible for sure. So Shihab, are we good to go?
Yes, please, yes.
Okay, so we have limited people, but I hope they are active people. So guys, if you know me, you know how to take this session forward. So let me start with my introduction and let me share my screen. Okay. So I have two screens. So if I'm looking at on this side, so it means I'm looking at my other screen. All right, sorry. Shab, can I share my screen? Okay, got it.
Yes, yes. You are a co-host. I think you should be able to.
I am doing that, but I guess my system is choking. I hope if you can see my screen, let me know.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me figure this out. Right, guys. So if you can see my slides, I think we're good to go. Shihab, is it visible?
Yes,
My
yes, we
slides?
can see them. GGG. Good to go.
Okay. Okay. I am opening chat as well. So if you have any question. So guys, I'll give breaks and I'll ask questions. Like I'll give you time for questions. But if you do have any question, you can, Shihab is here, the other Ejad team and AWS team is here. So you can keep asking and I'll try to, make sure that we answer that. So today's topic is about startup growth through digital media. And if startup growth is company growth, is business growth, whatever you call it, it's all about digital media, right? And media is the same and it's on digital now, so it's kind of there are different digital aspects to it. And this is why I keep telling people that in digital marketing it's more digital, less marketing now. So आप जो मैं जानते हैं, people who know me already know that I very emphasize, I emphasize very a lot on the digital aspect of the marketing now, because algorithms and all these machine learning and AI tools are have a great role to play, and the data, the amount of data that is being produced and that is being crunched in these times was not possible before without these digital technologies. So that is how you need to understand how marketing is being impacted, how marketing is being changed because of the digital aspects. So I'm going to talk about how and you can implement a strategy or start with a strategy for your startups. It's really hard for me to devise a very specific one point agenda presentation or or a workshop to conclude something, because I don't know what kind of audience I'm getting, because there are a lot of different people who don't have really the same background. So इसलिए what we do is basically we do the introduction most of the times, and I really believe that in that introduction I cover a lot of aspects, even a startup 101 class, where even though you are incubated in some startups, but you still don't get the idea of how it works. So let me help you, today about how you can start with digital marketing. Why do you need digital marketing, and where does it fit, and what kind of mediums are available there. So my name is Usman Latif. If you know me, you know me already. But if you don't know me, I've been in the field for over 15 years. For like last 12 years, I've been doing this professionally. I call myself a Marcom Technologist. Marcom is something that I believe in a lot. Marketing and communication becomes Marcom. Technologist is a person who understands technology and implements technology, from a theory perspective as well as the practical side of it. And I totally understand that without growth, nothing is possible, regardless of your personal or your business growth. So I try to use my skills to grow myself, to grow my clients, to grow, to teach other people how to grow themselves. So you can reach out to me on my email, hello@usman.co. I run a digital marketing agency called Marcom Works. The local version of the same agency is called Digital Marketing Pakistan. It's kind of the same thing, but two different names for two different markets. Marcom is like marketing and communication. Works means, I believe, if it works, if you make it work. As for my training, I teach a lot. Teaching is my hobby, and still I take it as a hobby, but it's been becoming a profession a lot. I've been teaching at Elance for over 3 years now. I've given, it's my 14th session going on right now, and our 15th and 16th session is already announced at Lumps. So if you want to join my class on SEO, digital marketing, content marketing, look me up on Lum Center for Continuing Education Studies. Their new course is up for admission. Otherwise, I also have been a trainer for USAID for over a year. I'm a vendor now, so I left trainings. So DigiSkills.pk is another NIC. It's a sister concern of NIC. It's under Ignite. Ignite runs DigiSkills as well as NIC all over Pakistan. So So my course there has over like 85,000 students. For SEO only, I have like 220 videos on just the fundamentals of SEO probably. Not fundamentals, I take it to the advanced level, but it's still not the advanced part, I call it. So Superior College is another university I'm teaching right now to a BBA class, as well as I taught digital media to other media students as well. So it's going well in a traditional education system. So when you talk about digital marketing, you need to talk about digital media and what is digital media and what is digital marketing in simple terms. So in essence, digital marketing is, marketing is the uh, same profession, same field, but it's now on digital because I totally believe what has changed over the period of time is basically the medium. Marketing existed ever since the business existed. So the change is only in the medium. There was print technology, there was electronic technology. Now there's digital technology. Everyone is going on digital, and it's changing very fast. And these days, you have mobiles, you have laptops, you have smaller screens, you have smart watches now. There may be smart glasses in future. So it's all going to change rapidly, but marketing is still going to be the same. So whatever 7 Ps or 4 Ps have you read in your MBA class or your marketing class, it's going to be the same, but you have to understand the digital aspect of it. So in terms of digital marketing, uh, digital is all about digital channels. There are social media channels. There are search medium. There are search platforms. There are other hosted platforms. Email marketing is very promising if you are in a digital landscape. So you need to have a direct relationship with your clients. So when you're talking about direct relationship, in digital, email is the only direct medium that you can reach out to your customer without any dependency on any platform. So I always advocate ultimately to build up your direct audience, which is like the name, email, probably other demographics like which city they are in, which gender they are, what kind of company do they run. So if you have that sort of data, you can really keep that database, keep that relationship forever, as long as you are you're running your business. Because unless you spam them, unless you abuse your data, I think it's a very good way to keep in touch with your target audience. And it's the best way, because otherwise Google, Facebook, and all other channels, it's kind of a dependency. There's a medium in between you and your audience, and ultimately you're dependent on them. You're dependent on their policies, and although they're good to go in the start, but ultimately you don't want to be dependent on them forever. You can use them, but ultimately build your own database. So in Pakistan, the one of the biggest challenge I face telling people is basically, Facebook is not the center of digital marketing. So it's not like Facebook marketing and digital marketing are synonyms. They're not. Facebook is just one particular element of social media, right? This is one channel. There's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's Twitter, there's now TikTok, there's Snapchat, and there are plenty other social media channels that are, good for some niche markets, some niche audiences. So you need to understand that Facebook is not all of it, although Facebook is one of the biggest mediums in Pakistan. So if you want to start your digital marketing, you cannot ignore Facebook, you cannot ignore Instagram, but you cannot just rely on one channel. That is my ultimate, point. So yeah, so digital marketing is kind of the major idea. Whatever you do on digital marketing, like digital marketing is the center, but it's not just one field. It's not like, okay, हमें digital marketing करवानी है. Digital marketing में क्या करवाना है? That is the idea. आपको, you don't have to do everything. Being a startup, again, as we were discussing initially with Zartaj, that startups, don't have a lot of funds. So how can you start with your lean model? And I'll try to focus it around that okay, what is the bare minimum strategy that you can do to start with your digital marketing for your startups in a limited budget, and then you grow, scale it up based on your requirement and based on your budget. So in terms of reference, in terms of importance, this graph makes a lot of sense to me because it explains the kind of importance each channel has. So हर चैनल की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है, अहमियत क्या है, अगर आप इस ग्राफ से देखें तो it tells you, okay, search takes a lot of part, a very big part of it. So SEO or search engine marketing. Marketing is all, again, it's paid and organic. So search engine marketing is paid marketing on search, and SEO is like organic marketing on search. So ranking on Google without paying anything to Google is kind of called SEO. Your content needs to be optimized well enough that you are ranking for the right keywords without spending a dime on your on your ads. It doesn't come free. So either you need to learn SEO yourself or you need to hire someone, but you don't have to pay to the channel itself. Like you don't have to pay Google per click or per impression or per 1,000 impressions. On contrary, paid ads are very effective as well. So if you're starting out, अगर आप अभी start कर रहे हैं और आपके पास बहुत ज़्यादा budget नहीं है, what you can do is you can start marketing or advertising your products, your services on Google against the right keywords. So the difference between search traffic and social traffic is basically social audience is kind of passive audience. Social media पे लोग time kill करने जाते हैं. They go to kill their time. They go to spend you don't know whether they are there for networking, they're there for entertainment or news or whatever. But they are socializing on that platform. It's not like they're looking for something all the time. So advertising on Facebook is good, but it's kind of a उर्दू में मैं कहूँ तो तुक्का मार्केटिंग में कहता हूँ कि वो तुक्का लग जाता है. आप एक सर्टेन ऑडियंस डिफाइन करते हैं, उसको चाहिए होती है कोई चीज़, आप दिखाते हैं, उनका माइंड मेकिंग करते हैं. Once they start realizing that you exist and they need it, then they start taking decisions. But it's not like they were looking for you. On search engine, it's very clear that they were looking for something. The keywords defined by you are basically the right need and want that you satisfy for your customers. So if someone is looking exactly what you're selling, that is the right match, and you may want to pay for that traffic because there's a high chance if someone looking for it, they might be buying in the longer run. So it depends on what kind of keywords you're targeting, but ultimately you get a very good idea of people clicking on your product or on your ad is basically not any random guy or any random person from social media, from internet. It's actually they were looking for something and they came to you with a purpose. Regardless of your price and everything, the first condition is that the person, the target audience, are looking for something. So in that essence, SEO takes search takes a bigger important role in digital marketing because it's based on intent. Intent means they had a motive. उनका कोई मकसद था. बिला वजह कोई सर्च नहीं करता. अगर कोई सर्च करके आया एक सर्टेन कीवर्ड जो आपको लगता है कि आपकी टारगेट ऑडियंस थी, तो इसका मतलब कि पहली कंडीशन तो मीट हुई कि उनको वो चाहिए था. देन रेस्ट ऑफ इट इज बेस्ड ऑन यू. आपकी वेबसाइट कैसी है, आपके कंटेंट कैसा है, ऑफर कैसी है, वो किस साइकिल में था, स्टेज के, वो मतलब ये सारी चीजें मैं अभी आपको क्लियर करता हूँ. So in other ways, social media is growing very fast. This is an old graph. I don't really consider Facebook so small now because it's grown so big. But still, there's a primary difference between social and search is basically the intent. On social, it's passive audience. On search, it's active audience. On search, people are actively looking for something that probably you are selling. And on Facebook, on Twitter, on other social media channels, they're probably not looking for your product actively, but they were there and they are probably your right audience. So it's kind of good to target both. And I always suggest that you go for everything in the start, but prioritize as per your budget, as per your goals. Apart from that, online marketing like blogs, reviews, and affiliate, these other traditional channels have gone online as well. Even digital marketing is done offline, so there's no dependency of internet on digital marketing. But people do confuse this with internet marketing because digital marketing has taken a very important role very recently. Like in few years, it was not very common before. Only a few startups, only a few people were very, taking it very seriously. So digital does not mean internet only because digital may have other elements without internet dependency. So TV is a part of digital marketing as well. Digital advertising can happen on TV, and TV existed for a very long time. So people don't call that as digital marketing because they never realize that it's also a digital medium. But when people talk about digital marketing today, they talk about more towards internet marketing because it's kind of on the internet and on the digital channels which are accessible through internet. So I hope this is very minor difference, but it's not a big issue if you understand what is the difference. So anyway, so everything that you did otherwise in marketing in offline world is also being done online. Plus, there are a lot of other things that you can do on digital. So it's so big, it's so this field is so huge. I cannot really address the whole part in a 2 hour session. And if I have to teach digital marketing totally, I once designed like 12 different courses that I would like to teach if someone wants to become aware of digital marketing, what digital marketing is and how to do it. So there are 12 different courses that I can teach you in terms of what digital marketing is. So I hope you understand what is the scope we're talking about. So anyways, digital marketing is very clear, but what is marketing? So if you can tell me, in your opinion, what is marketing in your chat box, that would be helpful. People who know what I'm doing. So if you can, not answer, I'm sorry I'm asking you this, but I would like other people who are new to take a try, like defining marketing. Because we're talking about digital marketing. And digital is simple. All the digital mediums, digital screens, everything done on digital is digital marketing. And now every marketing done on digital is digital marketing. But what is marketing? The question is important. Okay. So there are two ways to doing this. Okay. One is I keep talking and you keep listening, and I don't know whether you got it or not. And then, we are all happy at the end of the day. That is one way to do it. But the other way to do it is basically that I ask you questions, you ask me questions, I learn from you, you learn from me, and then ultimately we all learn from each other, right? So I'm happy to answer any question. I'm happy if you're participating. Otherwise, the session was going anyways. I know all of these answers that I'm asking you, but I would like you to try so that I get a sense of the level of understanding that you guys have, and I take it from I try to teach you the concepts from where you are the level of understanding you already have. Okay, so Nayan says telling people what the need want. Okay, Homa says selling product or service. Zataj is an old student, so she says you said you want first timers to answer, so I didn't. Okay, thank you, Zataj. You can answer because the first timers are kind of not answering a lot, so I'm happy to have answers from any other people as well. So no restrictions anymore. So what is marketing, guys? In your opinion, we all want to do it, right? So how about you answer me what you understand about marketing? Okay, I'll give you like 20 more seconds and then I'm moving on. Right, so make people aware of what they need. Okay. So I'm not going to define marketing myself. I will take a definition from American Marketing Association. There are plenty of other sources to understand this, but I find this very credible, very relevant. And I think this one definition explains it all. So if you understand what this definition is, you understand what marketing is in essence, regardless of the platform you're doing it on. So it says that the activity set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So it has 4 parts, in my opinion, and I try to highlight each part differently. And if you understand these 4 parts, you understand the communication cycle as well. And based on that communication cycle, you understand the main goal of marketing is not to sell or to do anything. It's just about communicating your offering that have value to the right audience, and doing everything to make it possible is basically called marketing. So let me, move on to the highlighted part. So if I divide this into 4 sections, I color coded this in like 4 different sections. One is the activity set of institutions and processes, like whatever you do, whatever team you hire, whatever institutions, you build the departments and everything, whatever you want to do. For what? For creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging. So in a sense, it's kind of communicating, because creating, delivering, and exchanging is all part of communication already. So whatever you are communicating means you have already created a message, you're communicating the message, you're sending it through a medium, someone is receiving it, and if you get a response, you are exchanging it. So it's kind of a full session on what is communication and why this is important. But one part is the institutions that you build, the activities that you do to create, communicate, deliver, and exchange. कोई भी आप काम करते हैं अपना मैसेज कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए, वो मैसेज क्या होगा? That message is offerings that have value. Like, it's not just offerings. So your product is your product, right? But you package it in an offer. Like, you price it, you package it, you bundle it with something, and then you sell it, right? So it's not that like just product you are selling. You are selling a whole package, an offer. So how people judge your product is based on a different aspects. Okay, one thing is product, one thing is reliability, the brand selling it, the price factor and everything, the affordability. So the reliability as well. So it's kind of an offer that have value. वो offers जिसकी value है किसके लिए? For customers, clients, partners and society at large. ठीक है, आपकी target audience के लिए. So आपका customer कौन है, आपका client कौन है, partner कौन है, या society, depending on के audience क्या आपने रखी है. So this is one generic definition to cover all of it. So that is why they are targeting. But if you're just targeting customers, you can just write customers. So you don't have to go for clients, partners, and society. But this one definition explains it all. So if I have to repeat it, all that activity that you do to create a message that you want to deliver to your audience about your product, that is an offer which has a value for the target audience, which is like your customers. So what I'm going to teach you is basically about how you can do some of these stuff. Your product, your offer is based upon you. I'm not here to tell you, okay, how to position your product, how to price your product, how to develop your product for cheap. It's all you. Your audience, you already know that. You should know that, because if you're not creating for an audience, then you're playing in the dark, because identifying the right audience and identifying for whom you're creating a product is basically very important. Otherwise, this is not going to be a successful business, because you don't know whom to sell, right? So your audience, you should know your product, you should know the activity set of institutional processes is again how much you can do, like how many people you can hire, how many departments you can build, how many channels you can go on. The main part is communicating the right message, right? So that is what I usually focus on in my courses, how to create a message, and that message is basically your content, and that content is basically called content marketing. So on digital, if you don't talk about content marketing, you're not talking about marketing, because the end recipient does not get you, they get your message, and your message convinces them to to look for you, to look for your product, to dig in, to review and make a decision. And once they make a decision, that is when they buy it, add to cart, and they order it. And if it's a tangible product, if I can receive it by courier or something, or I can use it in a way, I'm only going to have an experience once I start using the product. Before that, it's all about your perception, your content, your message that you're consistently delivering on all the channels. So this is how I'm going to structure this presentation, that how you can be consistent in your messaging on all the channels all the times. Okay. So sorry, I'm getting calls, so I need to put that on DND. Okay. So if you have any questions so far, do let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go to my next question. आपका अभी तक कोई सवाल है तो काइंडली मुझसे पूछिए. डेफिनेशन तक मैंने क्लियर किया है कि जो भी काम आप करते हैं अपने कस्टमर तक अपनी ऑफर का मैसेज पहुंचाने के लिए, वो मार्केटिंग कहलाती है एज पर अमेरिकन मार्केटिंग एसोसिएशन. आप नेट पे जाके सर्च कर सकते हैं. बट ये मैसेज कैसे कंस्ट्रक्ट होगा, क्या मैसेज कंस्ट्रक्ट होगा, किस पे जाएगा, सो दैट आई हैव टू टीच यू टुडे. Okay, so no opinion, let me move on. So my next question is about why do we need marketing? So we have understood what digital marketing is. We've seen the channels, different social search, and other channels. Digital means on the digital marketing. I don't define marketing. The marketing definition is already there. You need to understand marketing, but the question is the next big question is why do you need marketing? Because this is something people usually take for granted, and most people consider their machinery, their office, their products as an investment, but marketing is considered as a cost, which is one of the biggest misperceptions that I deal with on daily basis. That someone who's invested like not just few, but like not just startups, but about industries as well. People who think their millions of dollar machinery is an investment, but having a $1,000 website is a cost does not make sense to me, because when I tell them that machinery will only work once you get orders, and you need to get orders through marketing, and website is your virtual office, and digital is your there are a lot of opportunities on to market your business on digital platforms. So they don't realize that your marketing is not your cost. It's basically an investment, and the more you invest, the more you get out of it. So once you change this perception from having a cost to doing an investment, your motivation, your intention changes as well. And that's when you don't try to save your cost, but you try to invest more in your business. So I hope I'm making it very clear, because the perception is your marketing is your cost, which is why you try to save it. But if you save your marketing cost, then it means you're not going far enough. You're not reaching to enough people that maybe your target audience, and that may convert into your sales. So in essence, you have to understand that your marketing is your investment, and the more you do, the more you get. That is the whole idea of investing in something, because you have a sense of returns in the longer run or in the short run. So why do we need marketing, guys? Anyone? Okay, so raising awareness to your product to meet the need want of the consumer, to reach your target audience, tell them that what they need is being offered by us. Okay, so do an exercise. Uh, I do an exercise to make you guys understand how and why digital marketing works, and people who know me know that I do this regularly. So this is where I ask a lot of questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to map your business, your regular business, in a very simple, straightforward business map. Why do you need marketing, and how does it fit in your whole marketing, whole your startup culture? So I hope you guys understand that without doing this, you will not understand what marketing is. So I'm going to ask you questions, and you need to tell me, you need to teach me how your business is set up. So for any business, let me know, why do you guys do any business, or anyone does any business? कोई भी business क्यों करता है? इसका जवाब अगर आप मुझे बताएं कि आप लोग business क्यों कर रहे हैं? Why are you guys running a startup? Why does anyone want to do a business? So what is the ultimate purpose of doing a business? Okay, this may seem childish, because maybe some of you are very mature in your business culture, but I would still like to understand what your opinion is about, because I have a reason to do this. I'll explain that uh, in a while. Okay, independence, money. We are greedy people. We are, and creating impact. Okay, doing something I love. Nice. So, so apart from people who said we're greedy and we need money, I have questions from other people who said that independence. Oh, what is independence? Can you have independence without money? Like, for say, for example, I say you're doing business, but you're not going to get any money, but you're independent. Would that make any sense? Or you're creating a lot of impact, but you're not making money. Can you sustain that impact without money?
So I think you can, Usman.
I understand. So how? If you can defend your
Means
stats
I
very
think I
ideally.
was like personally I was independent even when I was making very little money, and even when you make like at one point money just becomes a number in your bank account, right? It's no तो कोई रियल पर्पस उसका नहीं होता, बस वो नंबर ऊपर जाता रहता है फिर। और मुझे नहीं लगता कि शायद ठीक है फाइनेंशियल वेतनों बड़े इम्पैक्ट आ जाता है, लेकिन वो ये सारी चीजें उससे पहले भी हो सकती हैं। आप वॉलंटियर कर लें, इम्पैक्ट आ जाता है कहीं ना कहीं।
Right. So the question is, अरिश के अगर पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, बाकी सब कुछ मिल रहा है, so would you still do that?
मुझे लगता
थोड़े
है
या
पैसे
ज्यादा नहीं मिल रहे।
अच्छा पैसे बिल्कुल नहीं मिल रहे आप कह रहे हैं?
So अगर आपको पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, तो आप क्या करेंगे बिजनेस को?
इंटरेस्टिंग। नहीं फिर बिजनेस तो नहीं कहना चाहिए ना अगर पैसे नहीं मिल रहे।
हाँ, so शर्त ये है कि so the condition is that you don't have any inheritance money or you don't have any other bank balance.
हाँ,
You just have this and
then you should make money, make sense। उस सेंस में सही कह रहे हैं आप।
right. So see, the problem with Pakistan is most of the time is that we feel shy in saying that कि हमें पैसे बनाने हैं और हम पैसों के लिए काम करते हैं। ठीक है, this is my analysis, and of course, guys, apart from Arzish and Arzish and anyone else, you can of course have a difference of opinion, and I'm totally open with that. And I may learn something, but this is what I've learned and what I'm putting on the table. So it doesn't mean it has to be like this. It can be wrong. So you're free to counter me on this. But in my opinion, if you're not making money, you are not doing business.
Absolutely.
ठीक है, so ultimately हर business का goal जो होता है वो revenue होता है, और जो life का goal होता है वो कोई bigger purpose है, but that bigger purpose comes after you have some money, and ये जो अर्जिश ने बात की है कि when money becomes a number, तो आपके पास इतने आ जाएंगे कि आपको परवाह ना हो, तो फिर वो एक नंबर लगता है, then that is the freedom you want to achieve, that is the independence you may want to achieve. But how do you get there? You get there by making money. So if you say that you're doing a business but you don't need money, so maybe you have enough other side businesses or enough other income that is supporting your this business, but this is not a business. So if you are not making money in your business, you're not doing a business. Okay, that is my verdict about it. So if you have a bigger purpose in your life, you want to be independent, you want to do social good, you want to travel the world, you want to do whatever, that bigger purpose can be served when you have your primary income, right? So in life we need bigger purpose. That bigger purpose comes from your financial independence. ठीक है, so हमारा गोल तो ये है रेवेन्यू से हमें प्रॉफिट मिलेगा, प्रॉफिट से you make, okay, let me, so you can have a bigger purpose once you have revenue, but the challenge is you don't go directly to this revenue making stage without going to a lot of other stages. So goal तो हमारा ये है, but इसको achieve नहीं करेंगे. So revenue कैसे आता है guys? How do you make money? Like, so ये तो identify हो गया कि startup या business का goal है पैसे बनाना. पैसे कैसे बनेंगे? Like कोई भी आपको पैसे क्यों देगा? Why would someone give you money, or why would your business earn money, and how would your business earn money? Okay. Right. So you make money through sales. Okay. Yeah. So adding value, something, it comes later after transaction. वो realize होता है कि value add हुई या नहीं हुई. I can buy a shit product that does not add any value to my life, but still transaction happened. So in essence, you make money simply by selling something. There's a very simple sales transaction. आप भी कोई भी चीज किसी को क्यों देते हैं? Why do you give money to someone, or why does someone give money to you? Is basically because you're getting something in exchange. So होता ही है कि it's a give and take. So someone is producing something or building something or manufacturing something, and they sell it to you in return of money they get, and then they buy something from someone else that they need, and they pay the other person. So it's like the social ecosystem, like the economic ecosystem, that you trade every time. There's a social contract, there's an economic contract between two entities. I give you money, you give me services or products. So I answered my next question myself. So how do you get sales? You get sales by selling your product or your service. So ठीक है, जब आप कुछ ना कुछ बेचेंगे तभी आप उसको तभी आप पैसे बनाएंगे. अब वो कुछ ना कुछ क्या बेचेंगे, that should be your, what are you selling? You are either selling a product or a service. So is there anything else that you can sell? आप या तो प्रोडक्ट बेचते हैं या सर्विस बेचते हैं. Is there anything else that you can sell or any business can sell? So in terms of a business, you are either selling your services or you are either selling your products. What else you can sell? Okay. Not sure. Right. So, product or service, you can package everything within. The point is, a business has to make something to sell, right? Or to make money. So if you're not selling something, either your time, either your services, either either you're building something, manufacturing something, you're not making money. No one is going to buy something from you, right? So it's like everything falls under this. But one time, someone told me that you can sell an experience. So I argued in a way that, okay, maybe experience can be a service, because you're packaging it in a in something, maybe in your time, maybe in your skills or something. But he said no, it can be sold separately. I have no idea, but still I wrote it there. Keep writing. It's been 2 years. I keep writing this because regardless of what you do, you have to make money. So that is the whole agenda. This is not important. The important part is, if you're making money by selling your product or service, no matter what you call it, you're good. Okay, you don't need to worry about what you call it. So I cannot give a difference between service and experience. That is what I literally said, because this was someone else from the audience when I was doing a USA training, I guess 2 years ago. So someone came to me like, okay, Usman, you can also sell experience. I was like, okay, how can you sell experience? He tried to explain it to me. I could not understand, but still I wrote it for him because I didn't want, to emphasize this alone. Because if you call it experience, okay, fine, do it, but you make money. That is the ultimate goal. So I'm not sure how is there any example, because in my opinion, service experience is also a service, because you're probably, uh, maybe he was talking about interior design or a paraphernalia sort of thing, that what kind of environment you give to someone, but still people come to you for something, and you are giving time and expertise in a way of service. So anyways, I hope I cleared your answer. Okay, so the next question is, who buys from you this product or service, who pays you the money for this? तो कौन है जो आपसे ये खरीदता है, आपकी सर्विस या प्रोडक्ट? तो कौन आपको इसके पैसे देता है? Right, the needy one. I'm not sure if we call it needy, but so the goal is to make money, but this is not how you go. This part is closed. Okay, customers and sometimes consumers directly. Okay, needy, wanty. I'm not sure if it's a word, but interesting. Right. So maybe I can call them, my audience. So whoever is going to pay you is going kind of, can be collectively called as your audience. right? So it can be your customer, your consumer, your user, your buyer, whatever you call it. Let's say we call it collectively call it as audience. So एक business है, there's a business who's producing something, a service or a product which has an audience who may want to pay for that product service. You will get revenue, you will make money, profit, and everything. And then you'll have your bigger purpose. Maybe you go on, you list your company, you start new companies, you go on a world tour or whatever that bigger purpose is. That's up to you. But for a business, you have to make profit. If you're not making profit, you're not doing a business. ठीक है? तो यहाँ तक किसी का कोई सवाल है तो पूछ लिया, अगर क्लियर है तो हम इसके आगे हम चलते हैं कि यहाँ से क्या करना है. Someone's mic is not on mute, so I'm not sure if you don't want to talk to them. Okay, so we're good to go, right? Okay, so in essence, so in short, this is the simplest form of a business map you can have. Like people give you money, you have a business, there's a product or service that you're making, there's an audience for that product, and they will buy it, you'll get sale, you'll make money, revenue, profit, and everything. And then you'll have enough money to serve your bigger purpose. So I'm not going to the financial modeling or the production and the manufacturing and the nitty-gritty of your, how do you produce your produce your product. But my whole point is that I need to map your enough information that you understand different channels. So is it complete? Is there anything missing? Because the question is, how would this audience know that, why would this audience pay for your product or service? The question is, why would you pay for anything? आप किसी भी चीज के लिए क्यों पे करते हैं? आप जब खुद बाय करते हैं या आपके बिजनेस के लिए कोई भी बंदा क्यों पे करेगा? Why would someone pay for your product or services? Or if I rephrase it in another angle, from another angle, is basically, why would you pay for any product or service that you buy from someone else? What is that reason that you buy something from someone? We have a very small audience right now, but I would be very happy if you say whatever comes to your mind. I can totally assure you that there are no wrong answers right now, because we're not judging you people, but I still want that you try to guess it, because that is how you learn. Otherwise, I know all these things that I'm asking you guys, because I've been doing this for over 10 years. So why would you pay for someone? Why would you pay someone for something? Or why would someone pay for your product or service? Because it will fulfill a need or solve a problem, or it will, or you want the product or service, right? So have you bought anything that you never needed or never regretted, even if you bought it? So if you regretted something, will you buy something again? So when will you buy something? So in short, the answer is, you buy something when you need it, right? So it doesn't mean that if you have a product or service, then there's an obligation to an audience that, okay, they need to buy it, right? So that is one of the major reasons some startups fail, because they create a product first and then they understand, okay, who is it going to help? If you don't know what your product is for, who is it going to help, then you are taking a very big risk. And if you don't understand your audience, that is one of the reasons that many startups fail. So people only buy things that they either need or that they either want, regardless of an impulsive buying or regardless of any very sane decision. Either they want it, maybe for a very short brief period of time, or either they need it, either it's solving a problem, or whatever it is. They will only buy something once they understand, okay, this product is helping them in something, right? So instead of going directly from product to service to your audience, there's a element between your audience and your product is basically you don't sell your product, you actually sell a solution to someone's problem, either it's your product, your service, or something. Because if you don't understand this, that someone is only going to pay once they realize that they need this or they want this, that is when you start making sales. Because otherwise it's kind of if they bought it as an impulsive buying reaction or something, they're not going to come back to you later. Because if you're not having recurring sales, your first time sales are very expensive. So these are all general business startup ideas that you otherwise learn in any incubator as well, but I need to link it with the marketing part. So that is why I'm walking you through all of this. So I hope now it's clear that there's a business who creates a product or service, and it serves a demand or a need from an audience. That audience is willing to pay for that product service because they need it. They are trying to they have a requirement. They create they pay you, they the transaction, you sell it, you earn revenue, and then you have a bigger purpose, right? So is there anything missing so far from this business map? Someone would like to guess? What is missing? इसमें क्या नहीं है जो होना चाहिए? क्या ये बिजनेस मैप पूरा है? आपका एक बिजनेस है, मैंने एक बिजनेस खोल लिया, मैंने अपनी प्रोडक्ट सर्विस बना ली, और मुझे पता है बड़ी अच्छी मार्केट है, बड़ी डिमांड भी होगी इसकी, मैंने सब रियलाइज कर लिया, मैंने उसकी प्राइस लगा दी, और अब मैं दुआएं कर रहा हूँ बैठ के कि कोई आ जाए चल के और इसको खरीद ले, क्योंकि जब वो खरीदेगा तो सेल्स होंगी तो मुझे पैसे मिलेंगे, तो मैं दोबारा स्टॉक भरूंगा, दोबारा काम करूंगा। अगर नहीं भरेंगे तो मैं मे बी 5-6 महीने बर्न रेट बर्दाश्त करके मैं उसको बंद कर दूंगा। Right. So the major next question is, how would your audience know that their need and want is being satisfied by your product and services? So you have a very good product that is serving a very good need or want of a very specific or very targeted audience, regardless of small or big. But how would your audience realize or know that the problem to their solutions, the need that they have is your product, is your service? How would you do that? How would they know that? The answer is marketing, right? So instead of going from need or want to to audience, there's a very important step in between, which is the major step that people forget and take for granted, is basically the awareness part. If no one knows you exist, no one will ever buy it from you, right? So you don't go from having targeting a need to your audience. You actually go from having a need and making sure your target audience realizes that their need or want is being solved by your product or services. And the only way to do that is basically through creating awareness. I call it awareness because there are different ways to do it. And even if you're talking to your direct audience, like your first contacts, immediate contacts, your family, your friends, your neighbors, people who know you, that is still you need something to tell them, right? You need a story, you need something to reach out to them. So awareness is there, and I'm going to map it here, that how you can do awareness, and that is where digital comes in as well. So can you guess what is awareness, how you can do awareness to your target audience? So आप अपनी audience तक कैसे पहुंच सकते हैं? क्या क्या तरीके हैं आपके पास awareness के? If you can just guess it, the different ways to reach to your audience. So you are all doing business, right? So you need to reach to your audience, and the question is how. Because you have a very good product, you have a very good business, you have realized there is a need and want for that product. You can sell huge amounts of it, and there is a very big audience as well. But how would you reach to them? Social media, word of mouth, emails, events. Interesting. And anyone else? So they are like, right, so there are 3 major techniques that are used on average, right? It's called ATL, BTL, and TTL. Okay, so marketing के तीन बड़ी techniques हैं: above the line, below the line, and through the line. Okay, so how many of you know what ATL, BTL, and TTL is? If you know, I can skip telling about this. If you don't know, you can let me know so that I can explain briefly what this is. I'm going to explain it regardless. So ATL is basically all those techniques that you do on the mainstream media, like above the line techniques. Marketing की वो techniques होती हैं जिसमें आप mainstream media use करते हैं. So for example, if someone wants to, let's say, I usually give an example of an insurance company in my classes because it's easy to explain the funnel, the marketing part of it. So, for example, there is a business. I have a business of insurance. I sell insurance, like life insurance is one of my products. There may be other products, but I'm a good insurance company, a small insurance company, let's say, and I'm selling insurance as like one of the products is individual life insurance, right? I do know people need this, want this. There's a lot of audience. Every professional, every money making, every person who can make money, who can make enough money to save for their insurance needs to is my target audience, right? So it's like a very fundamental financial product. In Pakistan, it's not that mature. The idea is not mature because of several reasons, but internationally, insurance are legal requirement as well for certain jobs and for certain, services as well. But in Pakistan, it's hard to sell insurance because sometimes it's not Islamic, sometimes it's not, there's no awareness for this. So let's say I need to sell insurance. The product is life insurance. I know people want it. I have a very big audience. Every money making person, like individual, a job person or something, they need to invest in their future. So what can I do? I can go on ATL. I can spare some budget for ATL. Like I can go on TV. ATL is above the line. Above the line means mass media. Mass media is all those channels where you have mass level audience. Mass level audience is counted as when you cannot quantify your audience, like you don't know how many people are listening to you or watching it or receiving your message. That is usually called as a mass media channel. So your TV, your newspaper, your magazine, your billboards are some of the examples of ATL. So if someone has to go on ATL, they allocate a budget to ATL techniques. Like for example, they want to go on TV, they want to go on newspaper and everything. So that those all techniques are called ATL. BTL is below the line. BTL is very targeted, opposite to ATL. It's kind of focus group marketing. You go to if you go to any hyperstar or any hypermarket, there might be some stalls for some people, some new companies trying going to the people, talking to them, and giving them samples of their new upcoming products and getting feedback, maybe on spot or maybe later on. So that sort of marketing, like having a stall in an event, having a stall outside a university, if your audience is your target audience is a student. So those sort of very targeted focus group techniques of spreading your message is called BTL, right, below the line. So it's kind of opposite to what ATL is. So ATL is mass media, BTL is very focus group marketing, and TTL is through the line. Through the line means all those techniques that where you combine ATL and BTL. So it's kind of like comprehensive strategy of ATL and BTL is called TTL. So a company can have an ATL strategy, a BTL strategy, or both, which is called TTL strategy, right? So they will allocate budgets on different marketing goals. Once again, they have a business, they have a brand, they have a name, which has a product, which is, as I said, is a life insurance product, and then they know there's an Indian bond, and then there's an audience for it, but they cannot reach out to them unless they go on a media, because audience does not come to the business. Audience go to the media to consume information, to consume entertainment, and to spend their time. That is when businesses capitalize or capture the eyeballs, the attention on those media channels, because people spend their time on media channels, and businesses use those media channels to spread their messages. And it's all about targeting and everything if you go in detail, but ultimately that is how it works. That is how media channels make money. That is how businesses earn revenue, because they get to the right people through right channels. So I hope it's clear so far. Let me know if someone has any question, because after this we're going to move forward. So there's ATL, this BTL, this TTL. So how does digital fit in? Is there any thought from you guys, how does digital fit in to this awareness model? Okay. So for a long time, people used to consider ATL, like digital, a part of ATL, sometimes BTL. But I'm not sure where to put this. The most common opinion is that digital is also a part of ATL, but ATL is usually traditional mass media, and digital has like uh, tendencies of both ATL and BTL, because you can go focus group and you can go broad as well. So what I do is basically I write it separately. Again, it's not, if you don't understand it like this, you can have it any way you want it. But I think digital is a separate medium, and you can go digital as well. So now when companies decide their budgets, they think of ATL, BTL, and digital. If you don't have any budget for startups specifically, you can start with digital only, because it's not like that you can go on TV, or you can go on mainstream media with a few thousand rupees with a national scale outreach. So in digital, you can be very specific to your target audience only, and you can start with very few daily budget, maybe in hundreds, maybe in rupees, like less than even 100 rupee. So that, which is even less than $1. So it's easier for digital to start with. If you don't have anything, you can still spend probably $1, which is like 150 rupees, 160 rupees a day, to start spreading your message, and then you can scale it from there, right? So I'm not an expert on ATL, BTL, and TTL. I'm here to teach digital. But if you don't understand the whole business, why digital is important, you will not understand digital altogether, right? So अगर आपको पूरा बिजनेस समझ नहीं आएगा कि आपका बिजनेस क्या है, आप क्या करते हैं, ऑडियंस तक कैसे पहुंचना है, सेल्स कैसे आएंगी, बिकॉज ये सब चीजें जरूरी हैं अगर आपने बिजनेस चलाना है. सो डिजिटल, उसमें मेरा मेरा जो शोबा है, मेरी जो एक्सपर्टीज है, वो डिजिटल है. ATL, BTL exists. If you have money, you can go on that as well. But if you don't have money, I would suggest you can start with digital. And in digital, there are several other mediums. So if I divide into different mediums, they're like paid channels. So usually, it comes down to search, social, sorry, social, direct, and referral. I may have less space, so let me move it here. Or let's move it here. So referral is basically what? So can you guys explain what all these channel is? Search, social, direct, and referral. So we divide traffic into four main mediums on digital, which is search medium, social medium, direct, and direct traffic, direct media, whatever you call it, and the referral medium. So these are like four different ways to classify your audience. Search is usually search engine. If you go on search, you can either pay for it, or you can get organic traffic. If you're going organic, it's called SEO. And if you pay for such traffic, it's called SEM, as per the graph that I showed you earlier. So which is paid. SEO is, let me clarify so that you don't confuse it. So you have organic search, you have paid search. Okay, let me make it smaller so I hope it's clear. Okay, same goes for social media. Unfortunately, social media में organic and paid are called the same. Social media management or social media marketing, and it's still the same. I can call it like SMA is social media ads. You can take notes if you want. I will probably share this graph with you later. Social media marketing is organic, and social media ad is paid social. right? So what happens is you can, if I ask you to, go on search, there are two ways to do it. You can do paid, you can do organic. You can, if I ask you to go on social, you can do organic social. You can, pay on social media to get traffic. So all of this is basically different channels, and this is all from digital. So let me clarify it by these arrows. Okay, I hope it makes sense now, because you have a business, let's say insurance company. You have a product which is life insurance. There's a need and want. You need to reach out to your target audience, which is on TV, on digital, walking all over in the malls and everything. So you can do ATL, go on TV, you can go on newspaper, you can have billboards in the right spot in some business district where some professionals might come, because you need to target the right professional people. Or you can do both as a TTL strategy. But also you can go on digital. If you ask me to go on digital, like if I have to go on digital, I can do social media. Uh, I can have a page. I can create content. I can create engaging content like videos and everything. I can also do ads to reach out to the audience that I am not reaching out to currently, because Facebook does not allow me to reach all the people. I can only reach to a limited number of audience which follow me, and no one follows me because no one knows me. So if someone knows me already and likes me enough to follow my page, that is when I get a follower, right? So I will not get a follower if I've not reached to a new audience, or any audience, and they feel it good enough that okay, I'm producing enough content or enough good content that they want to be kept updated about. And that is only when they start following you guys, or a company. So I can do social organic, or I can reach out to you through ads, or I can also do SEO, which takes a long time, because for SEO to rank on SEO, you need to outrank someone. So someone is already, probably, most of the time someone is already ranking there. If you start optimizing your website, it means you're outranking other people. You're gradually growing, and it takes sometimes months, it takes sometimes years to rank for certain good keywords. But once you do, it's kind of very rewarding, because SEO is very rewarding in a way. If you calculate the ROI over a year of time, like if you're spending on ads, and if you calculate the ROI through ads, and if you're spending on SEO, and if you calculate the ROI of SEO, after a year, usually organic wins, because once you rank for good keywords, chances are you are ranking for a longer time, because you have done good work and you keep getting new traffic for those keywords without paying any money to any platform. So SEO is rewarding in the long term, but if you need instant traffic, you cannot ignore paid media, which is, SEM, PPC ads on Google search. And search ad is basically important, because search ads has intent. They capture on people. They target the people who are actually looking for something that you are selling, because you cannot go broad with your search targeting. You grow very specific in your targeting on search, right? So there are different mediums. There's no other medium probably, because email comes in direct. If you are thinking about email marketing, that is your direct marketing on digital, right? Uh, for that email marketing to happen, you need to have your email contacts. So it means if you have an email contact, it means you have it through some reason. It's your target direct audience. Either they signed up for your newsletter, they signed up for your updates, or they were your customers. So you have data somehow to reach out to them. So you don't need to go on Google to target me if you have my email already, right? So this is how it works. And so direct audience is basically people who know you, and referral is basically your word of mouth marketing. So what happens is, to have a customer, if I start from scratch, if in a scenario where no one knows me, I need to reach out to someone through any other search or social medium on digital. And once they know me, they don't go to Facebook, or they don't go to Google to look for me. They can just type my domain directly if they remember me enough, and they can come to me directly and buy my products, right? So that is my direct audience. The direct audience is what I have a direct relationship with, either through email, or they come to me directly, because they know my name and they know my domain. But the word of mouth, the referral traffic, is basically someone sending you traffic because you are so good that they feel good enough to recommend you, or they are satisfied enough that if someone asks another person that, okay, if I want to buy insurance from a company, since they were a good customer, they were being treated well, they will recommend other people regardless of you're paying them or not, because they feel good about your company, the services you're providing. You have good rapport with your target audience. That is where your clients become your brand ambassadors. So this is like, if you have very good brand ambassadors, you don't need to worry about your marketing budgets, because your product keeps selling on their own. And no doubt you keep getting new audience through search and social, but you keep your existing audience happy, and you make sure that they become your brand ambassadors, even if you have to incentivize them or not. If you are incentivizing them with good service, they are already going to be your brand ambassadors and sell you as a marketing or as a representative of your company, right? So, so in digital, all of this can happen. So SEO organic is basically, ranking on search. Google is the biggest search engine, but there's Bing, there's Yahoo, there are other search engines which are small, and there are other search engines which are country specific, like there are specific search engines in Russia and China, because they have their own version of their different search engines. So Google does not work everywhere. So depending on your target audience, because this is all about your audience, where they are, which social media channel are they on, which search engine are they using, which email marketing, are they like, do you have your targeted email audience? Because if you're sending your same message to all of your audience, it might be relevant for some people. So if you have very segregated, very targeted list of your audiences, then you can have very good email marketing. So this is all digital search, digital social, direct, and referral. There, I'm not sure there are other ways, but this all happens through one common thing. So what is that one common factor, one common element in all of this? What is being used in SEO, being used in SEM, SMM, SMA, or email marketing? What is that common thing that is used everywhere in digital? G, content. Anyone else? So it's all about digital, right? So we are already talking about digital medium. So medium is digital anyways. What is that one common thing that is being used in every segment of these services that you're providing? Search, social, or direct, or even referral? That is content. Thank you, Shahab. So as I said before, I gave the answer already in my earlier explanation, that people don't come to you directly. So you reach out to them through your content. So one common factor in all of these services on digital is basically your content. Your content reaches to your customers, and that is when they start understanding you. If your content is good, they judge you as a good company. If your content is bad, they judge you as a bad company. So as per MIT, I'm not sure I have a slide right now, but I used to have a slide in my regular presentations, where I found out a reference of a research done in MIT, that over 65% of people, is almost around 70%, people judge your credibility based on your website. So how many of you have thought, like, have realized that, okay, if some website is bad, you judge that company, okay, जिसकी website ऐसी है, वो खुद पता नहीं कैसे होंगे? क्या आपके कभी ऐसे आपने फील किया कभी किसी बुरी वेबसाइट को देख के जज किया कि जिसकी वेबसाइट फारग है या ऐसी है, तो उसके वो बिजनेस खुद कैसा होगा? How many of you have had this feeling that you judge a company's credibility based on the the digital presentation or the content presentation of that company, either website, either social media, either content, or everything? So how many times did it happen to you? All the time, right? So yeah, even different people have my different experiences, but again, no one is judging you. This is where the communication part is. So if I go back to my slide, which said that you need to communicate. What are you communicating? This is your message. This is the content is your message. And the whole point of marketing is basically making sure the right audience gets the right message at the right time on the right channel. That is how I do marketing. That is how I teach marketing. So this is your message. This is what you're communicating. You're not communicating anything. Absence of a message is communication itself. And if you don't have a website, that means that you don't care. So absence of a message is a message in itself, and you're still communicating something to your audience. I teach communication as a subject in a full session, but just to give you an idea that if you see each other's photos, if you see me, you might have an opinion about me by just looking at me, how I present myself, what kind of clothes I wear, how I move my hands, how I talk, how I look. I have the same opinion about you, regardless of I am doing it intentionally or not intentionally. But everyone has makes an opinion about everyone else because everyone is communicating without verbal. It's kind of informal and non-verbal communication. How it's happening all the time. Even colors speak. Even you do this all the time. So it's kind of a vibe of a business, of a person that you have and that other people have from you. So it's already there. You are communicating something and you become your message, and your content becomes your message. So if you're not having a consistent communication on your social media, on your search, and on your emails, on your website, then you are still communicating, but it may not be a good message, right? So marketing is all about a consistent communication that actually helps you in selling, in promoting you as a good business, in promoting your product as a good business. So this is how it all works, right? This is where the definition fits in about whatever you're doing to make sure that uh, all the things that you are doing to create your messages that has offers, messages of your offers that have value. It's not just the offer, right? It's the offer that has value, because no one buys anything. I may, you may have seen a lot of mobile ads on every day. It's very cheap. It's very cost effective. It's very good. It's very good value for money that they're offering. But since you are not interested, you don't buy everything you see on TV or online on everything. You only buy stuff that you think you need. And when the need arises, that is when you go into the market and start looking for it. And if you, for example, are looking for insurance, that is when you go on Google and start typing what is insurance, or best insurance company in Lahore, or best insurance company, best insurance packages, or best insurance quotes. These are the keywords that you might be typing. Based on your different keywords, I would like to understand your journey in your customer journey in your life cycle stage of my product, because not everyone is my customer. If someone is looking for what is insurance, might be not good to sell them a discounted product, because regardless of what discount I give you, if you don't know what insurance is, you're never going to buy it unless you understand it properly. And that is my next slide. So before I go to the next slide, I'll need to close this, because if I review this, I have a business. My whole goal is to make money, because I don't do business for charity, and even charity is a business, because if charities don't make money, they are closed as well, unless they are pumped by other money from other sources. So charity needs to make money to keep alive. So no one is doing charity, and if you're doing charity, then you're not doing business. So if you're doing business, the whole goal is to make revenue, because your stakeholders, your investors, your shareholders all need to see how much money a company is making. Your bottom line needs to be there. If you're not making your bottom line as your priority, then you are not doing business. You're missing the point. And in Pakistan, the challenge is that we feel ashamed in a way. I felt people shying away of telling that why do they need business. They say that, okay, I don't need a boss, I don't need you know people don't want to feel greedy, like they don't want to come as greedy. Okay, okay, I need to be a good person. Okay, it has nothing to do with your moral compass. So you can be still good by after making money. You don't have to be bad. Money is not necessarily bad. It's a tool. It costs to live money, it costs to eat, and it costs to live. So you need to make money to survive, and it's okay to make money, and it's should be your primary goal. And then if you have good money, you can be have good charity, or good you can uh, increase your goodness in a way that you can do social good by your money. But the essential part is you need to make money to be doing everything else. So the biggest challenge I see with people is that, okay, hamara to Allah ka shukar hai. कि सेठ साहब से कहते हैं जी सेठ साहब आपको वेबसाइट चाहिए, आपको मार्केटिंग चाहिए, नहीं हमारा तो अल्लाह को शुक्र है। वो सही बात है कि अच्छी बात है कि आपका इतना चल रहा है बिजनेस के, इट्स गुड, बट द चैलेंज इज दे आर नॉट ग्रोइंग। ठीक है, वो खुश हैं जितना उनको मिल रहा है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई ट्राई टू एम्फसाइज कि ठीक है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि अगर आपका अल्लाह को शुक्र है और आप माशाल्लाह अच्छा कमा रहे हैं, देन यू डोंट grow enough that you can, if you have like 100 employees, why don't have 1,000 employees, why don't have 100 million, 100 million rupees in your bank account, and launch another company, grow bigger. So that is the growth mindset that is missing from Pakistani startups, and that is why I keep emphasizing for you guys that, because again, you might be incubated somewhere, you might be looking for investors, but you need to make sure that you're making money, good money, and that is when investors come to you. That is when you grow big. And if you're not doing that, then ultimately you'll be closing shop, because uh, money is everything for your startup. And how do you make money? You make money through sales. And how do you get sales? You get sales because you're selling something. What are you selling? You are selling something that someone needs. Someone is there that they need the product, and you have a product, but how are you reaching out to them? That is where the marketing equation comes in to your whole startup equation. You need to reach out to the right people, and you need to keep showing them what you can do for them and what your product can do, and that is when you make money by selling your product. Because once more people understand who you are, what you do, and that is when more people are going to uh, you know decide your product or shortlist your product as a possible candidate for a purchase. If they don't even know you, like for example, if you need to buy insurance, and if you don't know Usman Insurance exists, you're not even considering me or shortlisting me when you're ready to buy insurance, right? You are still going with the options that it's my job, it's my responsibility to make sure that you at least know I exist, because when you are ready to buy, that is only when you buy. But when you're ready to buy, and if you don't know me, I'm not even in the equation, because you are just taking four different brands and you're deciding a product from those brands, and you're going to finalize one of them. But I'm not even in the equation, and I'm missing out on a lot of things. So that is where you need to get awareness comes down to different digital channels, social search, um, paid social, paid search, organic social, organic search. And once you have enough audience, you can keep them direct relationship with them, because once you have like maybe 2,000 or 10,000 emails in your database, for every new product you send a burst email. You don't spam them, because if you spam them, they have the authority to block you. So if you send them good content, enough content that creates value for them, they will keep in contact with you. And for every new product, you already have an audience of 1,000 to 10,000 people. That may be your possible audience, and you can make instant sales within a day, within a month, once you start reaching out to your direct audience. And if they are so happy from your service, from your product, from your experience, that they will tell other people, and that is the PR, that is the branding, that is the loyalty you get, without that you cannot get without good service, good offer, good proposition. So you need to make sure you're good enough that people recommend you on their behalf, that okay, this is a good company, this is a good product. Do you need to make sure they become your brand ambassador? So to close this, I need to understand one thing. So I talked about ROI. So what kind of ROI do you think, if like I'm reaching out to 100 people, how many sales I might be expecting? What is the general formula? Or have you find out any ROI model that, okay, if we spend enough money on our awareness part, which is maybe ATL, BTL, or digital, we get enough sales? So is it any formula cracked by anyone so far? Okay, so the question is the right survey in your marketing content derived from the market survey? Like as an owner of the product service, I feel it's needed, but when I survey the market, I find new insights. Interesting. So to get the messaging in the ad campaign right, what needs to be done? So this is interesting. See, you need to survey is one good item, one good way to understand what people want, instead of having leading surveys, like asking them questions that you want answers to. You need to probably ask them a question in a way that they provide you more information without leading you in a direction, or without leading themselves in a certain direction. So because this happens a lot. I see a lot of people, they want to hear certain good answers because they already have a certain business model or certain proposition that they want to sell, and they want to make it right by putting stats to maybe satisfy themselves or to satisfy someone else. But ultimately, it comes down to the market forces are very powerful. You cannot force a market to go in a certain way. Markets decide themselves how they want to behave. And if you are able to identify where the market is going, where your market is, you will let them drive your drive what they want, and you just need to identify the need and want from their experiences, right? So one way is survey, but then there are digital tools available. Like, say for example, uh, in Google you have a keyword research tool. You can identify what people are searching on Google about your product. So it's a good way to understand, excuse me, so it's a good way to understand, like, what kind of words are being fed to Google, like what kind of search queries are there in search engine around your product. So you can go and search for certain needs, certain wants. For example, you can be your own customer, and you can think, okay, if I were my customer, what would I be typing in Google to look for my company, or to look for a solution that I provide. Start from there and see how Google provides you different suggestions. When you start typing, Google gives you autocomplete suggestions. When you search something, you find some results. You can see your competitors, how they are positioning their products. You can go at the bottom of the first search results page, and you can see what kind of search queries Google shows as a related query. And then you can go to Google tool, where Google keyword tool, it's free. You can use it with your Gmail, and you can see what type of keywords are being typed by your target audience to search for certain product, because Google gives you related and synonym ideas as well. Like, okay, if you're looking for certain insurance, like life insurance, so maybe the point is that people might be looking for term insurance, which I recently realized because I was teaching the same example to another class. When we look for life insurance, there were searches for term insurance. Term is a very specific type of life insurance. And if someone is typing for term insurance, it means that is very qualified audience. So you can run your ads in term insurance and sell your term life insurance product to that audience. So you will get very good insights. And then there's Google Trends. You can see different trending topics around your industry. You can go to Google Trends, is another free product. So since I use Google a lot, so I keep using this. But ultimately, this is how you understand. And there might be other market surveys, other segments, other reports by other research organizations that you can rely on. So I'm not sure, unless you do research, you can do this. But these are different ways to make sure that you have a target message. What problem you are solving is what you need to target. So you need to have very specific problem statement, because for every product that can be solving multiple problems for multiple people. So it can be save life insurance, but someone wants to save it for their kids, someone wants to save it for themselves, someone wants to do it for their family. You know, uh, the goal can be different. If you can understand, if you can link the goal of the audience, the motive, the intention of the audience with your product, that is the right marketing message. It's the same insurance product. Its span is like 20 years, but you can call it the same insurance package as your life insurance, or as your education insurance, as your जहेज के लिए पैसे इकट्ठे कर रहे हैं. So they have different demands, different intentions to do some things, and you maybe have a same product for different goals. So once you start understanding why people are looking for your product, you can link your messaging to that why. Because if I'm looking for a certain insurance, and instantly an ad comes up saying that, okay, are you looking for life insurance? We have the best life insurance packages for young professionals. That hits me very instantly, because that is what exactly I was looking for, right? Even though I don't make a decision, but that is uh, I would like to see it once, that okay, what they are offering. So anyways, I hope this is clear. The question was, how much awareness do you get? Like, if you get enough X awareness, then you get Y sales. Is there any formula by anyone, or should I map it for you guys? So let's say if I'm reaching out to like 100 people, okay, I'm reaching out to 100 people. How many sales should I be expecting? Or what is the good formula? Or maybe in your business, what have you found out? So if I'm reaching 100 people, How many sales are there? One says 2%, or for every 1,000 potential, you are saying 2 or 3 paid customers. So 1,000 to 2 is not 2%. It's probably 0.2%, I guess. So if you talk about 2% from every 100 visitors you might get, as per 2% formula, you might get 2 sales, right? So it varies a lot based on your target audience, based on product, based on the niche you are in. But let's say the global formula, because on average, globally, people say that, okay, if you have 100% reach, you may have like 2% sales conversions. So with that formula, if I'm reaching out to 100 people, I am reaching out, I'm generating 2 sales. So if I understand the cost of reaching out to 100 people, so if I get the cost of reaching out to 100 people, right, dollar sign. So what is the cost of reaching out 100 people? If I get that formula, let me color it something else, maybe purple. So I can, and I can see the revenue I'm making, right? So the sale I'm generating, again, a dollar sign. So it totally, comes down to, you can link your budget, like ROI, return on investments, which is called marketing ROI, MROI, marketing return on investment. How much are you spending? How much are you increasing? So that will be, very golden for your business if you figure that out for your business. So let's say there's an X amount and I get Y sales, right? So 100 people, two sales. If I want to increase this, अगर मुझे नीचे zero लगाना है, if I need to add a zero here, can I add a zero up here? Excuse me. So अगर हमें नीचे zero लगाना है तो हम ऊपर zero लगा सकते हैं. So if I add a zero in the sales, it means I need to add a zero up there in the awareness. So if this 2%, out of 100 I'm getting 2 sales, out of 1,000 I'm getting 20 sales, and out of 10,000 maybe I'm getting 200 sales. So it's like very directly proportional to what I'm doing up here. That is, affecting my bottom line. So when someone asks me, why do I need marketing? This is the answer to that question, actually, because I had to answer this question. This is why I learned how to draw this business map, because this is why you need marketing. Because if you minus this, right, if you just go straight to your audience, then, there's no awareness. If I, minus, if I add 10 people up there, so as per 2% formula, how many am I going to get? 0.2 sales, which is probably not even one. So it means that maybe in 10 months, if I'm getting 10 visitors per month, maybe in 10 months I'm getting 2 sales, right? Because out of 100 I get 2 sales. So if I minus this up there, if I add zero awareness, how many sales am I expecting right now? Zero, right? So now ask me, why do you need marketing? So this is why you need marketing, because without marketing, you cannot grow your business. So it's not like you go directly from Ideo One to your audience. It's basically you need to go to awareness, create awareness. And I understand some people might say, okay, we don't need marketing. हम तो marketing के बगैर ही जो है ना हमने इतनी sales कर ली. So that is good. Like if you're still functioning without marketing your product or business to someone, that means you already have a very loyal audience, which does not mean that you're doing good business, because that is a direct audience that you already had, right? You can utilize that. No one is saying you don't utilize your direct audience, your network, because how many people you can remember in one, instant? One person can you name like 500 different people that you remember that are in your circle? Maybe yes. Maybe you can go to Facebook, but even though if you are so good in networking, I'm not sure if you can remember 5,000 names, 5,000 different names that you know directly, because every person has a limited circle. Social media channels like Facebook, LinkedIn make it easy, but still you cannot remember all of them. So you're not talking about your direct audience. That is there. You can still capitalize on it, but go for the other audience, because need is always bigger than your direct network. There might be thousands or millions of people who need this insurance as compared to your direct reach, direct audience that might need this insurance. So it's good if you're selling already without marketing, but it's not a good long-term sustainable strategy, because people who are investing in businesses, your competitors who are investing in businesses, might win in the long run as compared to you, because you may have a good audience, but they may have more audience which become good later on, because if you keep adding new audience, you provide them good service, it's very simple that you win their hearts and they become your sales. So very simple, if you keep adding good audience up there, you keep adding good sales down there. So this is how I understand. And if you minus this awareness part, I'm not sure what you're doing. So in my opinion, if you need to run good startup, if you need to run good business, you need good marketing. You need to have a good product, and one very important thing. So it does not mean one factor is very important and the other factor is not important. They all work together. It's like like a comprehensive strategy. Good operations, good marketing, good sales team, good brand, and everything. This all works together. It does not work in silos, and you have to make sure. But as per my profession, as per my expertise, I keep emphasis on marketing, because regardless of how good you are, regardless of how good how good your product is, and how good audience have you identified, and whatever need or want your product is satisfying, if you are not reaching to your people through any means, not just digital but through any means, you're not good making good sales. If you want to reach through digital, there are different channels. I hope this makes sense. Is there no question so far, I'll move back to the slides, because I need to talk about funnels, and I'm guessing I have very less time now. So okay.
Yes, so we also have very few people left actually. So I think we can, wrap up also.
Right. Sure. So if I go back to the question, why do we need marketing? I hope it makes sense now. Why do we need marketing, and how does it work? So if you're a startup, you need to understand, when you're talking about digital marketing, you need all of the business map I created in terms of content marketing, because see, when there's common denominator is content, that is why it's called content marketing, right? Because everything is done with content, and content marketing is leading with evidence. So Smart Insights is a good uh, reference. They do this research every year. In 2007, they concluded content marketing is the biggest marketing technique in digital. Then there are others, but then uh, you know
I think Usman's internet connection got lost, maybe. We can, I think, wait for a few minutes for him to try and come back.
hello.
Hi, yes, we can hear you. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure why it restarted. Zoom. Can you hear me fine?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen again. Sorry. Right. So I was explaining the PESO model. It's paid media, earned media, shared media, and non-media. So if you're talking about digital, you need to understand PESO because your content is distributed in these four major, dimensions, or what you can say categories. Paid media is basically all that media traffic or all that audience that you get through paid channels. Paid search, paid social, as I explained before. You can talk about Facebook, sponsored, lead generation, and everything that you pay to get, whatever you pay for to get the traffic, that is called paid media. Earned media is whatever you earn. You cannot pay for it. It has to be organic, like let's say viral content or something. If your content is good enough that people, mainstream media or other media covers you, or you get viral on channels, that is called earned media. Shared media is social channels. All the social media channels is shared. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all these called as shared media. And on media is basically the media that you own. So on media is kind of the most important media because your website, your content, your ebook guides, images, whatever you create for your own self is basically content towards your own media. But unfortunately, we create like 4 posts a day on Facebook, but we don't create 4 posts a day for our website because the life on social media channels is very limited. It's like very instant. If you see something and if you reload your app, the content is gone. It's very subjective. It's very, uh, the channels are designed to everyone's interest. So you're not able to reach to every person every time. So yeah, but you have to do all of these because if you need authority, you need to make sure that you're paying for it. You're sharing it on social media channels. Your content needs to be good enough for earned media, and then of course you need to own it. So what is a good strategy to do that? You should be creating messages like content and whatever you create. Make sure you own it first on your own website, and then if you're paying for it, then make sure your traffic comes back to your website from your paid media channels, whether regardless is Google search engine, social media channels, whatever you are paying for. You need to make sure that it comes back to your own media. And if you're doing this on social media channels, it's fine if you want to host your content there, but also host it on your website and add a link so that if someone needs to interact with you more, they're not just relying on channels because you need to ultimately get direct with them, right? And the only way to get direct with them is basically make sure you get their email, you get their data, and ultimately that happens when they come to your website and you have something to offer for free, like a guide, like an ebook or something, or subscription. And you get the direct audience. But you need to make sure that if you need authority, for example, if you're looking for insurance, you're going on Google, you see my website in SEO, you see my ad in Google, and if you're going on social, you see my content there. If you're looking to add, asking your people, your other people are sharing my content or recommending me. So that is my achievement in terms of journey, and you will understand. Okay, Usman Insurance is everywhere. Where I go, everywhere Usman Insurance is there. So that is how people judge you, and that is when they make a decision. Okay, this really seems like a good company, because once they buy a product from you, that is the after sales service experience that you have to make sure it's good. But that doesn't have to do anything with marketing. Marketing stops when you know convert a lead to your sale, right? So PESO model is very important, and if you talk about PESO model, you need to understand the general marketing funnel as well. And it's kind of the same thing, but uh, if you're doing any marketing on digital, you're you need to make sure you understand the funnel part, because if you don't understand the funnel of the client cycle life cycle journey, uh, it will be you will be uh, not you will not be able to strategize this. You will be just throwing content away randomly, right? So a generic content marketing funnel is basically they have different stages. There are many different funnels. You can add 4 stages, you can remove 4 stages. It's not fixed. It depends upon your on how you want, what is the life cycle journey of your customer. How do they identify you, get exposed to you, and then how do they take a decision. But anyways, in general, there are like many stages. First one is exposure. You need to get traffic regardless. You get paid traffic, social traffic, paid or organic, search or social. You need to get traffic. You need to make sure people know you first. The first stage is exposure. If you don't have any exposure to your target audience, if they don't know you exist, they will not be able even considering you. So once they understand you exist, that is when they go to your discovery stage. So discovery stage is basically, so this discovery stage is once they understand you exist, they start discovering you, your profile, your products, and what you do, who you are, maybe your maybe your journey, maybe your team. So it's all like understanding who you are. So if you go back to the business map, it's the business that builds the credibility. If someone is selling something, if there is a Usman Cola company selling you mineral water, it has a different appeal. And if Coca-Cola is selling you mineral water, it has a different appeal. So Coca-Cola is already a trusted brand in other brands. So you may see, okay, since they have good cola product, then they might have a good mineral water product as well. But at the same time, if you go for Usman insurance, Usman Cola company, you never understood Usman before, so you will be suspected of, you'll be suspecting more. Okay, I'm not sure if the credibility or the quality of the product. So, anyways, discovery is where people judge you, where people judge your products, and once they have understood that something is relevant to them and you can probably help them, that is when they start considering your product or your business for their need, right? So consideration is a phase where they shortlist some things, where they shortlist your products, your programs, your services, or they might be shortlisting other products as well. They might be comparing you. So you need to make sure that you are helping them in their journey. Once they consider and they think you are good enough, they call you. Maybe they'll visit you. They'll get free consultation, whatever it is. The consideration, after the consideration stage, there's a conversion stage. The conversion stage is basically where people make a switch. They buy your product, right? It becomes a sale. So once it becomes a sale, that is your after sale services start from there, because people need to interact with your product. If they think your product is good enough it's worth the money they spent, they'll have a good experience. They will come to you back. That is when you get retention, and that is when they will bring other people, which is word of mouth or referral marketing. They will become your brand ambassador, and this is why the funnel grows backwards, because you'll have maybe 2 sales, then 4 sales, then 8 sales. You'll keep growing your sales. Maybe some people left, but the growth is bigger than the churn rate, right? So this is like the very generic form of marketing funnel. If you take it from another angle, this is another marketing funnel. It explains almost the same thing, but with more details. So I told you about paid, earned, and shared and owned. So you see, it tells you the first stage is getting exposure. You need to get the right traffic via outbound marketing or inbound marketing, paid media, earned media. So this is all, again, a very little time to explain all of these concepts. But in short, you need to use all those channels that I showed you to get traffic. The first stage is to get traffic. If you're not getting traffic, no one is coming to you, no one is judging you, no one is buying from you, right? If you get traffic, that is when they start understanding you, right? So you get the traffic, you land them on the page, you show them the right call to action, the CTAs, and then you understand what kind of audience this is. This is important in this funnel. The important part is this expanded consideration stage, or the conversion stage. This stage explains the journey of audience in 3 major stages. One is tofu, mafu, and wafu. Like tofu is top of funnel, mafu is middle of funnel, and wafu is bottom of funnel. What happens is tofu audience is the audience which does not understand what your product is. It might be like at the very initial stage of your product lifecycle journey. They might need it in the long run, but they don't yet understand what you do, what your company does, what your product is, and how can it help them. So in case of insurance, if someone is typing what is insurance, I would call it as a tofu audience, and I would want them to rank. I would want my what is insurance page to rank on Google, so that I can land them on that guide that I've created for people who don't know what insurance is, and from there I might want to generate a sales or a lead. So that is my tofu audience. For the mafu audience, people who probably know some things but don't know enough to make a decision. So they might know what insurance is, but they don't know what kind of insurance, how much do they have to spend, which product, which product, which package, which company is better. So they might be asking, company A versus company B, or package A versus package B, or is insurance right for me, or is insurance, what should a IT consultant, what the kind of insurance should I IT consultant buy? So these are the things that people might be asking on Google, looking for these queries on Google to make sure that they understand some things according to their certain unique scenarios. So Bafu audience is certainly qualified to be targeted, but not enough qualified to be sales targeted, right? So that is where Bafu comes in. Someone who's very good enough, who understand what they need and know what the product is, exactly understand what they need is, but they want to know how you can help them. So let's say someone comes in like and says, "Usman, we need term life insurance for 10 people. X company is offering us X amount. What is your offer? Like, what are your services? What are your offers?" So this is a sales ready audience, and you just sell them. So the whole idea of understanding this audience is basically, if you're talking about content marketing, you need to target the right content to the right audience at the right channel. So for Tofu audience, it's all educational, right? You don't sell them, you educate them. So if someone looking for queries like what is insurance, you don't sell them, okay, there's 25% discount on life insurance product. I would not buy it because I don't understand what insurance is yet. What you can do is you can tell me, Usman, this is a guide, you can read it, download free guide on why do you need insurance, or what is insurance, why do you need it, read this guide before buying any insurance, something like that. That attracts to me because I was looking for what is insurance, and you are giving me content and article and guide and a video or image or infographic about what is an insurance. That is when I understand, okay, this is insurance. Once I understand insurance, now I need to understand what kind of products do I need, or what kind of budget do I have, or what is the right product for me. That is where I might ask you more qualified questions. Okay, this is I understand now. Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? Is it what type of insurance can I buy? Like, I do this and that. So you need to make sure your content is helping all those questions in the customer lifecycle journey, and it will grow gradually, of course. So Morpho is kind of like guides, like comparisons. You can have the opportunity to give them something for free. Like, okay, here's a checklist for if you're buying insurance. These are the 10 things you look for before you buy any insurance, and download free checklist. People will download that because you are providing certain value, but once they download it, they give you their data, and you can then have an email campaign after that, because now you have their direct audience. You have that direct audience through email. Bofu is very direct. You don't ask your Bofu audience to go and read your ebook first. They want an insurance product, you sell them. They need something, you provide them a sales page. Okay, this is what we do, this is what we charge, this is what you're gonna get. This is how you can pay for us. So you need to enable all these stages. You need to make sure website is good enough to accommodate all these journeys. The problem is people only do Bofu, right? All the time, all the people are thinking everyone is ready to buy everything at the right, every time. That is why everyone is selling everything. It's not like they are enabling the funnel. If I need insurance, I might be the right target audience, but I might not be ready yet. So who is going to make me ready? Who is going to nurture me to make me a sale? If a company is helping me out understanding what insurance is, when I'm ready to buy insurance, I will definitely go to the one who told me, who won my trust and taught me how to understand about insurance and what insurance is and why do I need it, as compared to the someone who just said, okay, you can buy it, or right now, and they did not help me in understanding what it is, and they were just selling me, and I was resistant, and they were very trying to impose that I should buy them and it's helpful. Although it is helpful, but I don't understand that. So content marketing helps in that, and it's kind of the starting point of marketing automation. Once your content is positioned in a way that people start coming and reading and filtering themselves into right audiences, you start tracking, you link your ads to the right journey stages, and then you show them the right ads instead of selling all the time. You try to nurture them, and once they are ready, they will take the right decision, because people only buy when they have a need or want. So I don't know I need insurance, but when I understand I need it, but when I understand I want it, I will go to the company who enabled me to understand that. So in terms of sales audience, sales terminologies, Tofu is your cold lead. You warm your cold lead. Mofu is your warm lead. You make it hot, and Bofu is your hot lead, and you just sell it. people can come in from any side. It doesn't have to be from top to bottom all the time. It can be like someone was customer from some other company, and they are not happy with that, and they just come to you. They were ready to buy. They just called you. They bought in like 2 hours. So it doesn't have to be like all the time people come from Tofu. So you need to understand what journey someone is in, and you need to direct them to the right audience, sorry, right pages. And all the time you need to be pushing down. So Tofu audience goes to Morpho, Morpho audience goes to Bofu, and Bofu goes to sales. That is when sales happens. At the bottom, once sales happens, your customer service experience starts. And if it's good, people will buy it again from you. People will take their family to you. And if someone asks someone, okay, where do I buy good insurance? That is when they are going to recommend, because you're doing a good enough job to convert those people. So just to wind up these 3 stages, Tofu is for creating awareness and you make prospects. Visitor becomes prospects. In Mofu, you people in the evaluation stage, and you convert your prospects into leads by helping them download the guide and everything. And Bofu, at the Bofu stage, they are ready to buy something, and you make sure that you convert leads into sales. So there are different types of content that you create at different stages, but the agenda of your content should be from unaware to most aware. So you need to understand this journey. When I don't understand anything, I'm very unaware about your products. I don't know what insurance is. So in order to aware me, that you need to tell me what problem are you solving. So why do I need insurance? What is the problem that insurance or your problem, sorry, or your product is solving? So you can make me problem aware, like 10 problems of not having insurance, or 10 reasons people don't make enough money, or people don't save enough money, or 10 reasons how to save money. There are different ways to do it. If you brainstorm, you can make it work. So first stage is you make me, you from unaware stage to make me problem aware. I need to understand there's a problem, and then I need to understand there's a solution. So you need to tell me, oh, there's a problem, but then there's a solution as well. Now I understand, okay, I can buy, because why would I buy insurance? What need or want I'm satisfying? It may be financial security. It may be financial security for my family. It may be like a second source of income or something. So you need to tailor your content accordingly. You make me problem aware, then you make me solution aware. Once you tell me the solution, you very conveniently tell, okay, by the way, if you're interested in buying insurance, we also sell it. So you make me product aware as well, so that when I'm ready to take action, I not only understand that, okay, this is the problem, that is my problem as well, and this is the solution, that is what I can do. And then this is the product that I can buy to help with that problem. And then, of course, he might research other things, but you won the trust by helping them understand along this all the way. Regardless if you're a bit expensive, people go for good quality support, service, and relationship. So I don't think a few percent of like 5-10% of value, trumps the long-term relationship. If a company is not good, even though they are cheap, I might not go there. So you have to, find a sweet spot that what kind of audience comes to you and what kind of value they see in your product and in your service. But in any case, when I'm most aware, only then I'm going to buy something. I will not buy something unless I understand what kind of problem I have, what problem, what solution is your product providing. So in any case, you need to help. You need to use digital to make sure people from unaware stage to most aware, they have a journey. They come to you. Once I understand what insurance is, why do I need it, and once I'm in the market to look for a good insurance company, I will, keep you at the top of my list, because you were the one who taught me everything. In conclusion, for a good digital experience, this slide makes more sense. Although you are online, regardless if you're online or an offline business, you need to have an integrated planning. If you're an offline business, that is when you need to make sure that offline and online integrates. In online, you need to do content. If you need to have good content, then you need to market it, right? Marketing, I told you different channels, but if you have a content, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hello? Yes. Okay, sorry, I lost everything. So if you have good content, you need to make sure it's ranking, and you can also get paid traffic. You can also publish it on social media. You can, then push it to your audience through email marketing and multi-channel analytics as well. So you need to make sure all of these are working together to have a very good digital experience for your target audience. If you're not doing very good digital experience and you're not measuring everything at every stage, you're not going to grow, and you will be again, throwing away your messages right here and there. Some might stick, some might not stick, but ultimately you need to have a good strategy. And as the question was, how do you get a strategy? This is, I guess, the whole blueprint of how you can start. So just start mapping your business, start mapping your audience, and see where you can fit in your messages, and where you need money for paid channels, where you can do it for free. So that's all from my side, guys. If you have any question, do let me know. You can reach out to me on these contact details. Sharp, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Usman, for such a detailed session and covering so much information in such a short time, actually. And thank you, startups, for staying, after time. So if you guys have any questions, so please chat mein likhte hain. Agar questions nahi hain, to if anyone wants to reach out to Usman, they can do it. Either say, get in touch with us as well. We can connect you to him. Okay, great. Nobody has any questions, I think.
I was not looking at chat. Sorry. Chat. Okay. Okay, no question, I guess.
Yeah, good to go, I think. Perfect. Thank you so much, Usman. Thank you once again. And thank you everyone for joining us. And we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.